Hello friends of the blade and welcome to our video on swords. The development of the swords during the centuries is a very fascinating theme. We can recognize that the swords evolved according to how they were used, in which fashion, in which manner. So let's first have a look on this typical Viking sword. This Viking sword was fashionable in the year 950,000, and we see it has a wide blade of approximately 75 centimeters and a grip about 15 centimeters, which is very suitable for one hand. So you can easily wield this Viking sword. It's a strong blade, and the Vikings, they used their sword mainly for hacking actions, for giving blows to their opponent. So they had their sword and their axes as a means of aggression, and for defeating they used their shields. So they had a defending tool and an aggressive tool. So this was the way they fought, the Vikings. And later on in the 11th, 12th century, in medieval times here in Europe, swords developed. You might recognize that this guard is not very wide. It's a small guard. That's a typical thing for Viking swords. Beautiful small guard, beautiful but small, and a nice pommel. Here this three-lobed pommel. 3 lobed pommels or 5 lobed pommels were fashionable on Viking swords. By the way, this is made by Hanwei Paul Chen and has a Damascus blade. Very beautiful sword. Then if we go further through the centuries, let's say in the 13th, 12th and 13th centuries, swords become more fashionable with a wider guard. This was in order to avoid that blows from the opponent slide down the blade, the own blade, and hit the hand. So you can easily catch opponent's strikes with this guard. And by the way, it's a formidable tool. If you smash like this, you can easily use the guard. The blade of this sword is also approximately 75 centimeters, but you will notice this was a custom-built sword made in order due to my specifications with a two-handed grip. So it's rather not quite historically correct, but I like it because the ability of gripping your two hands fully around this grip and even have some spare centimeters to the pommel, you can also grip it at the pommel with the left hand, enables you to give very, very strong blows, quite stronger than with the Viking sword. So very nice sword, this one. Then later on, now this might be typical 12th century, 13th century, and later on, let's say in the 15th century, swords here in Europe became fashionable that had very long blades and also long grips. They are called Langes Schwert, the long sword. And you easily recognize the meaning of this title, because the blade of this is nearly a meter long. And you see also the very large cross guard and the heavy pommel. And when people fenced with these swords, they're impressively light, in fact. They didn't wear armor anymore, steel armor. They just had the sword, and the sword itself was the aggression tool, but also offered plenty ways to defend. So the sword was the shield as well. That's interesting, because there were German fencing masters like Lichtenauer who taught styles of fencing where the fighters moved from various positions, and they moved in these positions, and from one position to another, when shifting the position, they gave the blows, like upper blows and stuff. And this was a very highly developed technique. People think medieval times were plump and not very intelligent, but in fact fencing with a long sword is a very complex thing, and it's really fun and interesting to learn about it. I encourage you and recommend to learn more about the long sword. Here in Germany we have modern fencing teachers like from Agilitas TV, and they offer very nice DVDs on fighting with a German longsword. And if you're not capable of listening to this in German, I can recommend a book. Let's see where I have it. Alright, it's this one. It's Fighting with a German Longsword, written by Christian Henry Tobler in Paladin Press. Also very recommendable book. Okay, so far my opinions about blades. Have a nice day. Thank you.